So, I'm sure you've been asking, what happened to Aftermarket? Because I said that it would happen on the 15th of September. Where did it go? And why did it not come out when I said it would? There's a few important facts to cover. First, I believe that originally, the Aftermarket event was scheduled to arrive on the 15th of September. However, due to delays with features that are meant to come out with it, namely Crossplay and or Switch/Steam release, it had to be pushed back before the season started. Now, we have a few pieces of evidence to support this. For one, EA support has said they were planning to get Switch out in September, however there were some development issues that caused them to miss this target. And support usually gets vague development status updates to answer tickets with, so this is fairly credible, because other games have had minor leaks like this from EA support before. Secondly, the community creators that were likely getting news from some external source that knew the original date, but actually wasn't in the loop with the delay. And finally, the September soiree is a pretty big red flag of filler content that they tend to release when they fail to meet their expected timeframes. It fits the profile perfectly, an event that doesn't require a major client patch to avoid QA overhead, which would add even more time lost, that is essentially just created through a few lines in the game's playlist. The sale itself is even just hijacking the code for the Summer of Plunder sale, as the store title code in the playlist is just overriding the Summer of Plunder name. The event also lasts as long as Aftermarket would have been, and the sale starts when the Aftermarket sale would have started, likely to cover their expected income for this month. So, how did I come to the 15th date for Aftermarket? Well, the store data wasn't updated to reflect the time being moved, so all the signs for Aftermarket were still there, despite it actually being intended to arrive at a later date. Essentially, skins/bundles are tagged as what event they will come out in. It comes out during the launch period, its tag is SO6 for Season 6. If it comes out during the first major event, its tag is SO6EO1, which is for Season 6 Event 1. And this can also be called 6.0 and 6.1 respectively. As you can see in the Aftermarket code, its name is SO6EO1, which means that's the first major event coming out in the season. And if you look at the bundle code, 6.1 starts to enter the store on the 15th, or just before. However, unknown to me is that the only reason that I could see the Season 6 Event 1 bundle code in the client is that they were planning to combine it with the launch code to last as one big block of skins until the new Aftermarket date. However, they didn't change any of the internal names, as that's too risky, so they just kept it as the same, and I just followed this trail of breadcrumbs. So this is what it looks like now. The next possible release window for Aftermarket would be October 13th. Not October 6th, as you might have seen me tweet previously, because I have discovered two new recolors which shift the release window a week forward. You've got the Magnum Opus for the R99 that's going to return, and this requires the Alchemist, and we've got Nightbreaker for the Longbow, which requires Sleeper Cell. So on top of all the other recolors returning in this video, which you can click on the top right, that means that the next door block needs to come on October 13th, and therefore the next event would need to come on October 13th. Essentially, we're looking at these devices around the map starting to count down October 6th. You can see my Horizon video for more on that. With Aftermarket going live exactly a week later on October 13th. This is quite similar to how it worked for Lost Treasures, where the bunkers started to count down, and then they were opened as the event started. Then we should be seeing Crossplay/Steam/Switch when Aftermarket does go live, and I think this is pretty likely. I doubt that the art team was having the problem designing the skins, because they normally do such a great job, and that shouldn't be the pressure point for delays. Nor should the LTM be the pressure point for delays, because an LTM doesn't present that much of a challenge, and we know that they are working on Campfire/Flashpoint since last season, and there's already a full set of code for the LTM, so the LTM isn't the problem, which leads me to believe that in fact the Switch release was the problem, as EA Support has said, and that we should be getting Crossplay/Steam/Switch with Aftermarket on the 13th. However, that is speculation, that is not confirmed, but that is just my opinion. And yeah, that's it. I apologize for being wrong about Aftermarket, but date predictions using the store can go awry, and it's never set in stone, so I wouldn't get too attached to them. A few minor other things to cover. We are getting a Halloween event. I don't think it's a collection. I can't say for certain, but it's looking more like a Bloodhound Town Takeover style shop. There's a handful of skin names that we've got. These can be legend or weapon skins. And Shadowfall is being reworked into a mode called Shadow Royale with a distress beacon feature. There's not too many details on that. However, the infected and spiders that tumbled out of the Lupins will return, and we should see some sort of respawn mechanics on both sides. So you could say have X lives as a living player, and then you move to the Shadow team then. Sort of hopefully fixing a lot of the problems that Shadowfall had with levers or the overall flow of the game becoming one-sided as the match got later. You should totally follow me on Twitter for by-the-minute updates, as tweets like this don't usually make it onto YouTube since the time that it's relevant is very short. Peace.